So if you're in the police promotion process or you're looking to go into the police promotion process at some point in the future, you absolutely need to know what the current themes are within policing, because these are going to become the foundations for the questions that you're going to get asked, especially those tricky forward-facing ones. So welcome to this video. If you're new to this channel, I'm Brendan O'Brien. I've been helping people just like you to succeed in the police promotion process now for 28 years. I joined the police 38 years ago. Can you believe that? 38 years. And I've been working within the sector ever since. I was a police officer for 28 years, retired as an inspector almost 10 years ago, enjoyed most of the moments of it. You know what the job's like. You're in the job already. You know what it's like. It's a bit like Marmite sometimes, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about what those current themes are that you can pretty much guarantee you're going to get asked questions about. And once you know what those themes are, you can research them, and also you can look at how you're going to structure amazing answers to questions that are going to be based on those themes. If you think your promotion board questions are just being based on the CVF, you're wrong. You're wrong. You might be being assessed against the behaviours within the CVF, but that's not how it's being done anymore. What I'm seeing increasingly is the board, the promotion board, is looking for the solution to the problem. You as a future sergeant, you as a future inspector, you're the solution to the problems that this force has got. And so the questions are going to be based on those problems. Okay, yes, they can assess you against the CVF behaviours, but we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on having a really good understanding of the themes and having some really good ideas about how you're going to tackle them in the future, especially for those, like I said, those tricky forward-facing questions. So in no particular order, and I will tell you the ones that I think are the most important in a moment, just what I think. But these are the themes that are emerging. And oh, by the way, how are these emerging? How do I know this? Have I gotten into the National Police Chiefs Council? No, I haven't. But what I have gotten into is about 600 people now who have been supporting over the past 2 years, especially, where I've really been focusing on this, who've gone through the promotion process, and most of them succeeded. Very, a small handful in single figures have actually failed, which is absolutely amazing. But it's not just down to me, and man, I'll show you the way. You've got to do the hard work. That's the deal. I'll show you the way. You've got to do the hard work, and they've done the hard work and have succeeded. And I get feedback from everyone all the time, just to say this is what's going on. These are the sort of questions that are being asked and why. And out of that, I pulled together these themes. So here you go, folks. Responding to incidents. How you're going to ensure in the future that officers respond appropriately to incidents in the future. About building public confidence, because at the moment it's in the gutter, isn't it? Let's be frank, confidence in the police at the moment, it's in the gutter. There's not a day that goes by without a scandal emerging from the police service, and that's got to stop. And you're the solution to that problem, by the way. Performance, it's a no-brainer. Wellbeing. Standards of behaviour, diversity, equality, inclusion, delivering an outstanding service, and reducing demand by working with partners, solving problems, reducing demand by working with partners. Now, these are the themes. These are the themes. Now, out of those, and I'll rattle them off very quickly again: responding to incidents, building public confidence, performance, well-being, standards of behaviour and values, diversity, equality and inclusion, delivering an outstanding service, and reducing demand through partnership, collaborative working. Let me just ask you this question. It might be interesting for you to put it in the comments, actually. Just after I've asked this question, just pause, think, put something in the comments. Let me know what you think. Which of these, 2 or 3 or 1, do you feel is the most important? Which of these do you believe is most important? Either one of them or maybe 2 or 3. Have a little think. I've got my own ideas, and I'll share them with you if you want. Would you like that? Yes, you would. Amazing. You can't answer back, can you? The one that I think is most important out of all of these is well-being. The reason being is, if your team is unhappy and demoralised, and people are thinking about leaving, but they're not telling you, they're having those first doubts, and they're going to go, they're going to drop that bombshell: I'm leaving, here's my resignation, I've got a new job. if that's where your team is at the moment, it doesn't matter what you do to try and improve performance. It's not going to happen. It doesn't matter what you do to try and ensure that people respond to incidents and give 120% when they do. It's not going to happen. It doesn't matter what sort of outstanding service that you hope they're going to provide. It's not going to happen. If you think they're going to give that extra energy, that discretionary effort to work collaboratively with partners, to do things that actually they don't really need to do, to reduce demand long term, if you don't look after well-being, that's not going to happen either. Listen, you've got to have a happy ship. Let's use a naval analogy. I was in the reserves for the Navy for about 4 years in my 20s. If I'd not joined the police, I would have joined the Royal Navy. But every captain I met was absolutely obsessed with morale on the ship. It was a he back then. I know it could be a female captain now, but back then all the captains were male. Actually, everyone on the ship was male. But they were absolutely, all of them were absolutely obsessed with ensuring that morale was high on the ship, that every officer, every rating was happy. And I don't mean happy as in happy clappy. I mean, and you know, pink fluffy unicorns and baby giggles. What I mean is happy as in flourishing. Do they feel as though they're flourishing on a ship? Do they feel as though their needs are being met? Do they feel as though they're being stretched appropriately? Do they feel as though they're being listened to? Do they feel as though they're being cared for and nurtured? And it was an absolute obsession that the officers had, and as a junior officer at the time, and a lot of the input was about you taking care of your team. Your first job is to take care of your ratings. And that's always stuck with me. That's always stuck with me. That concept of ensuring that you've got a happy ship. Because what they said, and quite rightly so, was you can't go into any type of crisis, war, or any other conflict and be effective if your ship is an unhappy one. It just won't happen. So is your ship a happy one? Is it a happy one? So that's why I think well-being is most important. And we look at how you're going to address well-being through concepts like check-ins, both individual and team-based ones. Some of the other things that we look at, responding to incidents, our officers are aware of the different structured approaches they can take to different type of incidents. It's not just the NDM, is it? We've got things like the building blocks of any criminal investigation. What does that involve? Are they proficient? Are they confident in things like scene preservation? I've seen some very poor scene preservation over the years. But so responding to incidents, really important. Building public confidence, we use models like the 10 peopleometer. Performance, we talk about the new performance model, not the old one that's based on stats. We talk about a new performance model, one that the MPCC haven't even thought of yet, but my clients who are succeeding on promotion boards are actually delivering. Standards of behaviour, we look at the apple barrel analogy. Yes, there are bad apples and we need to root them out and boot them out, as 1/4 says. But one of the bigger problems, I think, is all the apples around them. What we're going to do to instill confidence in those other apples, to enable them to do what is actually the law of this land, the Code of Ethics. You know what the 3 things are that the Code of Ethics requires? No, you should do. And also we look at things like diversity, equality and inclusion. Little things like, you know, could you improve, is it a positive action team's responsibility to improve diversity? No, it's not, it's yours. It's yours. Remember, you're the solution to the problem. And we look at how you can do that through guaranteed refs. That's one of the concepts we bat around. Guaranteed refreshment breaks, and how you can improve diversity through guaranteed refreshment breaks. And also that links into building public confidence as well. Delivering outstanding service, we use a model there of appreciative inquiry to ensure that the things that we're proud of, that we've done that are outstanding already, are built upon so that we do even more of those things in the future. And that's an exceptional model for ensuring that we progress. As opposed to looking backwards and focusing on the problems of yesterday, we're moving forwards and focusing on what we're doing well and building upon it. And there's a very structured approach to do that, which is working incredibly well for my clients who are just nailing it on their promotion boards, and they're actually living it as well by doing these things and getting amazing success from it as well. And also in respect of working with partner organisations, looking at things like the emotional bank account. and how we're going to invest an officer to become like the champion or the specialist in that particular area by allowing them to go and work with that partner organisation, where the only question they can ask is, how can we best serve you? How can we best help you? How can the police help you? Because we get it the wrong way around, don't we? We're always thinking, what can they do for us? When we spin it around, something amazing happens. Right? And that's where the emotional bank account concept comes into. So there you go, folks. Those are the themes and some very, very quick ideas about how we actually are going to address those themes, especially on forward-facing questions. So the question might be, how are you going to enable a culture where outstanding service is a norm? How are you going to enable a performance culture? How will you build public confidence as a sergeant or an inspector? How will you ensure that there's the highest of standards, both in terms of behaviour and values? See how they get turned into forward-facing questions? You've got to be ready for these, folks. And how to get ready for them? Well, look, if you're at this point, it means you're really interested in this stuff. So here's the shameless plug. Check the links below. Come and join me on the weekly webinars. This is where we practice these sort of questions. We bat around ideas which are getting amazing results. You know, check the Trustpilot reviews below. Incredible results on promotion boards, because it's dynamic, it's interesting, it's keeping the board on the edge of their seats. It's making them think that I'd be an idiot if I failed this person. Instead, it's making them think, you know, I've got to get this person in. I want this officer, I want this future sergeant on my team, because they're just amazing. That's the sort of attitude I want. This is what's going to take us into the future. That's where you've got to be on your board, not delivering the sort of vanilla nonsense, all the solutions of yesterday, all the boring sort of shopping list approaches, which I keep hearing. Come on, we've got to shake ourselves out of that, folks, and be a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more enthusiastic, and be that future sergeant, be that future inspector that's going to, quite honestly, shake things up a little bit and make a difference. And if you're thinking, oh no, I don't want that, yes they do. Look, you know, I speak to the senior officers, I speak to people who've got the feedback after they've succeeded on their promotion board. I know exactly what they're looking for. So come and join us, folks, on the weekly webinars. If you don't like it, look, just let me know, I'll give you a refund. That's how confident I am that I know you're going to love it. I know you're going to love it. All right, folks, well, listen, hope you found that useful. If you have, please do check that subscribe button that's around there somewhere, and also that little bell icon, which means that you will get notified whenever I release another one of these. And I'm dropping another one of these every other day. I look forward to meeting you very soon, folks. Bye-bye for now.